I think that that's pretty cool that you're kind of a realist and probably have a little bit in common with the artist that you work with.
That's why you
Yeah,
get along
well,
so
some of
well.
them, because I've worked with everybody, but after Guns, when they came out, and I heard Guns, that was another band. This girl I know, Arlette Variki, she was into Guns pretty early, and she was like a publicist sort of and everything. And she went to the UK with them. When she came back, she brought me a tape. That was what they didn't even have CDs back then. 87 CDs were just starting. So I was working on one of my cars in my mother's backyard, and I stuck the tape in the tape player. First time I heard Welcome to the Jungle, I'm like, oh my God, this band's going to be huge. And when I heard Paradise City, it was all over. I go, this is going to be huge. So I told Arlette, I want to do a photo shoot with the band. So they came in here, and they came in, and see, before them, like, you shoot Rad, or you shoot Poison, or you shoot Van Halen. It was like, they're looking in the lens, trying to be rock stars. And they came in there, and the five guys are on the backdrop, and they're just sort of talking to themselves, more or less ignoring me. And they're sort of giggling and not paying attention. I like the bands looking in the lens. I'm not one of these guys, where I want the artsy, like, one guy's here, or one guy's here, or one guy's here, and one guy's there. That doesn't work for me. I want them to look, because I want the chicks, the girls, like, when they saw a shot of mine, they'd be flipping through the bag, and they'd see this idiot photographer shooting, whoever, Quiet Riot, this one. And I want the bands to have this, I call it the suck me, fuck me look, okay? So when the girls came across one of my photos, they'd be, oh, I want to fuck that guy. If you know how many rock stars came up to me and said, Slows, this chick, I met this chick in Japan, and she had one of your photos of mine. I just fucked your brains out or whatever. So I've gotten a lot of musicians laid in my day. But so the thing is, when you're all giggling and talking, I mean, I don't want the side to slash his face, or I don't want Duff, picking his nose or whatever. So finally, I said to them, listen, you guys, let's work together on this, okay? Try it my way, because they were sort of ignoring me and doing their thing. And so they finally, after about half an hour, they started listening to me and doing what I told them, and looked in the lens, and they were still fucking around and, doing their thing and whatever. Dude, they saw the photos, and once again, at that point in their career, they really had no real photographers, except my friend Robert John was actually Axel spread.
Yeah.
So Robert did a lot of stuff, but he wasn't back then a great photographer, but he had access, and he was Axel's best friend, so he had access to the band. And so when they saw the shit I did in the studio, and they saw the lighting I used and everything, I worked with them for the next 3 years till 89. A good friend of mine is this guy named Mark Canner. His parents owned Canner's Deli on Fairfax, which is a famous deli. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark brought Slash to my apartment in 1983 because they wanted to buy some rock and roll magazines. Okay. And Mark lived a couple blocks away. So he calls me up on the phone. Hey, Neil, Mark Canner here. He's like, hey, you must have duplicates to some of your rock magazines. I was wondering if maybe I could come over and buy some of your duplicates. I'm like, okay, fine, come on by. So he comes by, knocks on my door. I'm like, hey, come on in. And I didn't see, but right behind Mark was this guy. He's like, oh, Neil, this is my friend Slash. And I looked at Slash. Dude, he had pimples all over his face. He had this top hat with his hair in front of his eye. You couldn't see his eye. He looked like he crawled right out of the gutter. And I looked at him, and then I gave Mark this look like, Mark, what do you bring this fucking over to my fucking place for? Okay, so they're looking through my magazines. And then after they got done, they're like, hey, Neil, there's this Cream magazine from 1973 with Jimmy Page on the cover. He goes, would you happen to have that? I go, Mark, that was the first cover of any magazine I ever fucking shot in my life. I have one copy. Can we see it? We've never seen it, So I go find it. I show it to them, and they're like drooling on it and everything like that. Hey, Neil, can we buy this? I'm like, you guys, I have one copy. It's my first cover. I can't sell this. Okay. So they gave me like $40 for the magazines they bought, and then they split. So then I have to go to my library. In other words, I got to go upstairs and take a dump. So I'm like, well, let me find that Cream magazine. I want to look at it. This is 73. It was 10 years ago. You know, I've come a long way. That was my first cover. Let me see what I did back then. I'm looking all over for the magazine. I can't fucking find it. Okay. So I walk over to Mark's house after I finish my business, knock on the door, maid answers. Hey, is Mark here? Oh, hey, Mark. Hola, hola. You know, come in. So Mark comes to the door. I go, hey, Mark, I can't find that magazine. I'm going to come back at 5 p.m. You better have that magazine or I'm going to knock all your teeth out of your mouth. Okay?
Holy shit.
So I come back at 5 p.m., knock on the door, maid answers again. Hello, Mark, come here. So, hey, Neil, you'll never believe this, but, you know, I was looking through the magazines I bought, and that magazine by accident got stuck in one of the pages. Give me the fucking magazine. I walked home. Okay.
Wow.
So about 10 years ago, I had this chick living with me, and she was going to write the Neil Zlozower biography, and the publisher wanted someone famous to write the foreword. So I asked Slash to do it. I don't know what he's going to write. You know, this is already after this is probably in 2004, 2005, 2006. So he wrote, you know, me and my friend Mark Hanner went to Neil Zlozower's house back in famous for 1983 with the intentions of buying some magazines, but when he wasn't looking, we were going to steal a few. Little did I know, Neil was too sharp and too sauvé to allow that to happen. And so he wrote the whole incident in
Nice.
The book never came out, but I still have that. I'll send it to you. I'll email it. It's
Cool.
pretty good.
Wow,
So,
that's like a true Slash confession.
Yeah, but at the end he wrote, you know, Neil's one of the greatest rock photographers. Everybody in this business.
Sweetheart.
So I couldn't ask for a better forward. Too bad the book never came out, but I will use one day. You know, and Mark Canner, you know, his family's passed away, so I go to Canner's and I was called Mark on the cell phone. Hey, Mark, you at the restaurant? And he hangs. I mean, he actually's got some really early photos of Guns N' Roses because he knew Slash from Fairfax High School. Mm-hmm. And we have actually on my photo agency, we have photos of Slash playing at lunchtime at Fairfax High School, playing a BC ritual. Was it a bitch or a mockingbird or whatever so Slash must be 14, 15 years old. Yeah.
I think those photos from him playing in his high school cafeteria or whatever
these are outdoors. The ones I'm talking about.
Okay.
But
anyway, I think those young Slash photos. You can find them online. His hair is short. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody steals everything online these days, you know. But Slash, one of my favorite. I could email Slash right now. Within 5 minutes, he'll email me back. The guy's great. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. So soft spoken. I love Slash. He's fantastic to work with, you know.
Yeah, I bet. I'm a big fan of Slash's his attitude, everything that he's kind of done. He's just got, he seems really earthy, and he seems to come from a good background. And
well, you know, his mom used to go out with David Bowie, and you know, blah blah blah. Slash, you know, he didn't always have it so good, but you know, I mean, you know. He's just great. Can't say enough good thing. My friend Slash, guitar tech. I don't know if you know Craig DeFalco. We call him Datehead, but he's with Slash every day pretty much. Slash never stops working. He's either in this blues project, or he's on the road with Guns N' Roses, or he's in with his rock band with Miles Kennedy. The guy, slow down, Slash.
He's in a commercial or a movie or cameo of some kind. Yeah.